Welcome to this live recording at Helives Bible Church, where the order of our lives is glory. God's messenger of hope, an agent of glory, Pastor Abraham Great serves with a prophetic mandate as the senior pastor here at Helives Bible Church to raise a generation of people ready for the coming of Christ. The message you're about to hear has the proclivity to move you into actions. The order of your life is glory.
This year 2012 has been declared our year of positive outcomes, and Pastor Great has started January with a series of goal setting. We have had part 1 and part 2. My sermon today is to actually talk about part 3, goal setting. Genesis chapter 13 verses 14 to 17, and it says, "And the Lord said to Abram, after Lot had separated from him, Lift your eyes now and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward, for all the land which thou seest, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then thy seed shall also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee." When God was saying this to Abraham, as you know, Abraham had no child. And it's really very difficult for you to think somebody is promising you to multiply your seed, to ask, to say, "I will make them spread and possess the whole world." But what this tells me is, God was telling Abraham, the future is bright. The future for all of us is bright in Jesus' name. Your future will be bright in Jesus' name. But what do you need to actually get that future? You have to capture it. And to capture your future, you have to learn how to set goals. Because goals actually create your future for you. And I pray in God's name that your future will all be bright. Also, our supporting text would be from the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. It says, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose." Now we're talking about a bright future here. God has never said that our road will not be full of rumble and tumble. In fact, there is a popular writer in Nigeria that said to his son, "May your road be rough." And when you think, how can a father say that, "May your road be rough," it's because it is through this that you can actually achieve. And that's why everything that happens in life is for good. Count it all joy. And I just wanted to quote 2 people there, what they said about goals. One of them said, Brian Tracy said, "Goals are the fuel in the furnace of achievement." It means there is no achiever without a goal. You have to first of all conceive, see, and then work towards it. And that's why they say God is a God that works from the end to the beginning, because God is always seeing before we start. Then the second quote says, "The great and glorious masterpiece of man is to know how to live to purpose." That's by Michael de Montaigne. The way I look at this is, a man without a purpose is like a ship that is adrift on the high seas. The wind will blow you anywhere. So when you have a purpose, then life becomes meaningful. But is all the goal, will all goals be ideal? For somebody, it might be, "I want to marry 10 wives." For somebody, it might be, "Oh, I want to even have a business." Yes, marrying 10 wives is not, maybe it's not bad. Having a business may not be bad, but why are you doing that? Are you having a business because you want to bless people? Or are you having a business because you want to amass all the wealth in the world? And what that makes me think is, when you set your goal, you have to know, is this a godly goal or is it ungodly? And also, people need to learn to set goals. And why do you do that? If you don't set goals for yourself, other people will set it for you. If you work in a place, people will understand that every year, maybe come January 1st, you start having meetings with your manager. This is the plan for the business for the year. This is what we do. This is what we do. They are not telling you that, what do you want to do? They are telling you, this is what we want to do. Which means they are telling you, this is the plan. You either fit in or get out. And that is always the thing. If you don't set a goal for yourself, people will set it for you. And often, you find that it's goals that you don't want. I'll give a personal example of myself. I was working somewhere some few years ago. Now, we needed to set up a service. And it's a branch of my profession that I don't like. Unfortunately, I was the youngest in that group, and I was the most junior. It so happened that out of 8 of us, nobody wanted to do that. The last thing I just heard was, oh, we're giving you a study leave to go on that course. And I said, but you didn't tell me. Oh, we all decided nobody wanted to do it, but you have to do it. What can I do? That is somebody setting a goal for me. Not what I wanted, but I had to do that. When we talk about goals, I think the first thing is we must make our goals godly. And by that, the only thing I can think of is Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. It says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. I understand that to mean actually in life there are two things, God or not God. If you take God, everything that is holy and not God will come to you. But if you take not God, you may struggle and struggle, because God has said, seek me first, and I shall add everything unto you. So our goals should actually be godly goals. Whatever we aspire to do should be godly. And to achieve godly goals, there are 10 principles. And actually, that is the essence of this message. I want to share with everybody what are the 10 principles that we need to exercise or we need to practice to actually have godly goals. And the first is faith. Goals are statements of faith. I want everybody to please, when you have the chance, read the whole of Hebrews chapter 11. It tells you about faith. When God told Abraham, I will do this. When God said to Sarah that in due time I shall make you bear. When God told Isaac that where you are now, even as a stranger, I shall give you the land to inherit. These people have not actually seen what God has said. But what kept them going is their faith. And that should be the first thing we must exercise. If you have any godly goal, have faith in it. No matter how long it takes, no matter the difficulties, no matter the obstacles, as long as you know this is from God and you have consulted God with it, have faith, because God will do it. I'd like to just stress verse 17 to 18 there. Can we call that up, please? Hebrews 11, verses 17 to 18. The whole of Hebrews, I would suggest that we all read. But verse 17 says, by faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. And he that he had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. This is a man who had no child, was looking unto God. God promised him, I'll give you a child. Now he has that child. God is saying, go and sacrifice that child. Now, I believe, reading the Bible, that Abraham believed so much in himself that the God he served will not fail him, will not let him down. But he carried out the instruction, and that was faith. This is my only son. I didn't have a son before. This is my only son. Now I was told this son, the seed will inherit the whole earth, but I have to go and sacrifice and kill him. But he went, and didn't God do the impossible? God will do the impossible in all your life. If you were the captain of a ship, even if there were very, very turbulent wind, like they say, and the ship was drifting, if you know where you are going, you will turn it around and go. If you were the hunter as well in the forest, even if the sun was shining from there, but you know you came from this way, you will turn back. And what happens to people? When people don't have direction, they go with the crowd. There's a stampede, everybody rushes through that door. Maybe you should go through that door. And that is what God's goal gives you. It gives you direction. And also there is someone that made a statement one time many years ago and said, the key to being outstanding is to stand out. You stand out when you have a direction. When everybody says, this is how we do it. If you have a direction and it's God's direction, you know, this is not the way I want to do it. Nobody can force you to do that. That is what Godly Goals gives you. And back to that exercise of the shape of the forest, it shows one thing. Most of us in life live a life of quiet desperation. We yearn for something. We need something. But how to achieve it, we don't know. And may God give us all the wisdom and the courage to keep to our direction. First of all, give us the faith to have His goal and give us the courage to stick. The third goal is building anticipation. Now, when you have a goal, you are expecting something. And because you expect something, you know you have to act to get it. So that energy comes to you naturally. And if you allow me to use pregnancy as an example. Sorry, it's just because that's my field, so that's what I can think of. Now, if you think of the process of having a child, there has to be conception, you have to nurture the pregnancy, and then there has to be delivery. Now, the same thing happens with your goal. If you have a goal, that is the conception. You just think, yes, I have this idea, I want to do this, I've prayed about it, so you've conceived, it is already there, germinating. Anticipation is when you go through your pregnancy. So anticipation is that time when you are doing everything to achieve your goals, but you are anticipating and you are waiting. Anticipation gives you the energy to continue. And then what happens? You deliver it. That's your baby. You achieve your goal. And what does that give you? Satisfaction. Have you ever seen a mother that doesn't smile or laugh when the baby comes out? They are very happy. And that is what goals give you. Because goals give you that energy to keep going on. And someone once made a statement that you've got to get up in the morning with determination so that you can go to bed with satisfaction. If you have a goal and you're pursuing it, you look at it and say, oh, thank God it was a fruitful day. But imagine you woke up and say, oh, I don't even know what to do. So where do you start from? By God's grace, we will all have energy to achieve our goals. The next thing is, goals become the force for what you want to become. When you have a goal, you have a force in you. You have a burning desire that I have to do this thing. When you look at people that are philanthropists, why is it that you think this man is so selfless? He is very helpful. He is doing this. Where does he get the energy from? Because that person has a goal. I want to help the homeless people. I want to bless the house of God. I want to do this thing. So that gives them the force that motivates them. And actually, when they get to roadblocks, it gives them the energy to keep them going. Somebody running a marathon, or somebody that wins an Olympic medal, even a footballer. When you think about a footballer, for every footballer you see, do you know how many people had that talent, had the wish, but never did it? It's just because some were persistent, some were not persistent. The same thing with an Olympic gold medalist. Very few people ever go to the first Olympics and win the gold medal. They start from county level, state level, national level. Every time they win, they don't win, they keep coming back. They keep coming back and they keep improving. And that is what the godly goal does for you. It gives you that force within that, look, I will run this race and I will shift my decimal point. Set goals that are just out of reach, but not out of reality. The meaning of this is, when God gives you a vision, God will always task you. God will not leave you always in your comfort zone. It will give you something that will make you have a sacrifice. You make a sacrifice with Him to do something. But it has to be within reality. Can I see that picture? Now, I'm going to use this man as an example, whom we all know. Can you see it very well? That's the President of the United States. Now, let's compare. Very few people have actually seen this picture, but it's really real. It's not a photo stage. That was when he was actually going to be nominated. He was putting his nomination forward as President of the United States. Brothers were praying for him. But now let's look at the two countries that have created him, United States and Kenya. By all means, United States is bigger than Kenya, is richer than Kenya, more powerful. But do you think Obama could actually be president of Kenya? Now, what that says is, it is out of his reach to be the president of America, because we all know the politics of America. People never thought a black man would be. But it is not out of reality to be the president of America. Why? He was born in America. He was schooled in America. His mother was American. He has done everything American. The only obstacle was the barrier we all know, but he crossed it. But now, it would have been out of reach and out of reality for Obama to attempt to be the president of Kenya. He had a father that died very early, so he didn't have much to do with Kenya. He hadn't even visited Kenya for almost 20 or so years before he became president. He didn't go to a Kenyan school. He doesn't know Kenyan politicians. So how would that happen? And you remember what he said when he was campaigning. He said, yes, we can. That was the statement he was using. Until I started writing this message, I never really thought into that message. Yes, we can means he understands that there is that thing I want there that I can almost see, but I can't touch. But yes, I can. And yes, we can, by the power of God. Everything you're looking at that is just out of your reach, but within your reality, God will make you touch them. God will achieve them for you. And that is also the power of faith. When you see, God said, call things that were not as if they were. So when you see something there, you say, yes, I want this, God. Do it for me. And you strive for it. That is also faith, which I will still keep going back to faith, I'm afraid, because I think that is really the number one thing if you have a godly goal. So he had faith in himself, people prayed for him, but what he desired was out of his reach, but very clearly in conformity with reality, and that was how God brought it to pass for him. Numbers 23 verse 19, it says, God is not a man, nor the son of man, that would say and not do, and that would do and not say. So if you have faith in him, reach for that thing that you think you want, and it's within reality. Reality to me in this case means within God's plan, within God's life, and God will do it for you. Number 6, as much as we have godly goals, it's important that we always set a time frame to accomplish our goals. And the reason is, lack of time or not being time conscious leads to complacency. If you think, oh, I want to go to school, but you don't start school when you are 6 years, do you want to start it when you are 28 or 30? So that's why there has to be a time frame. When you now consider time, you actually have 5 different types of goals. You can have a daily goal, a short-term goal, long-term goal, lifetime goal, or eternal goal. A lot of us maybe moan about life, and sorry if I use the word moan about life. Moan about life, we complain because we seem to be stuck in our daily and short-term goals. So we wake up, oh, I want to buy that dress. I want to buy a car next month. But actually, if you have your eternal goals and your lifetime goals in the right order, you will find that your long-term, your short-term, your daily goal fit into place because they are part of the process of you achieving your eternal goal. If your goal is to serve God, then every day is so easy now to think of how to serve God. Even if you don't have breakfast, you think about serving God. If your lifetime goal is to be a blessing to the community, everything you do now dictates that you see somebody on the road, okay, maybe you want to go somewhere, you see an old woman trying to cross, because you have a desire in you to be good to people, to bless the community, you can stop and she passes by. But if everything you think about is, I want to do that today, I want to do that, it's actually, really, when I looked at it, your daily goals and your short-term goal is what the pressmen call the rat race. Because every day there is one rat race or the other. But anyone that is happy and knows what their eternal goal and lifetime goal should be, will always find that the other ones, it's so okay for you to do. And I don't know if many people have heard about the word SMART objectives. It's something that is used quite a lot in project management when you draw plans. It says your goals must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be realistic. Because yes, you can't say tomorrow I'm going to just go to space. There's no commercial flight that goes to space yet. So, and then it must be time limited, because it is that time that allows you to measure the result of your goal. If you say in 6 years' time, I want to bring 10 people to the church, you can actually go back and say, this is 6 years from the last time I made that promise. Have I managed to disciple 10 people into the church? But if you just wake up and say, my goal is to bring 10 people to the church, well, you could be doing that when you are 60, when you are 70. Now, I hope you won't disagree with this one. I said, one of the things to do is also share your goals with people who are on your side. God helps people. God knows your desire. But God does not physically come to the world to do things for you. God will use people to do things for you. And I know a lot of people will say, when you deal with people, they do this, they betray you, they do that, they do that. Well, that is part of life. And there are many people that will be there are many people who are actually wolves in sheep's clothing. When you tell a lot of people about your ideas, yes, there might be envy that will turn to jealousy, hatred, and wickedness. But the people who are on your side will be your destiny helpers. They will be your dream makers. They will be your agents of recovery. They will give you sound advice without telling them what you want to do. How would you do it? Back to what I was saying about the fact that, if I tell people they do this, they do that. I want us to go back to the story of Christ. Judas betrayed Jesus Christ. But one thing is, it was written that he would do it. So even if you think I'm telling somebody about my idea, somebody I think would help me, and the guy betrayed me, it's because it was written. And when we started, Romans 8 verse 28 said, everything worked together for those that believe in God. So it was written that that guy will betray you. Let it go. It doesn't mean you should not talk to other people. And sometimes even that betrayal could work well to your advantage. And number 8, principle 8, we said, believe you can reach your goals with God's help. Luke chapter 1 verse 37 says, for with God nothing shall be impossible. You would have seen so many verses that says all things are possible with God. But this verse said, for with God nothing shall be impossible. God is using the negative to affirm the positive, that nothing shall be impossible. So as long as you have faith in him, work with him, everything will be possible. This verse was when Mary saw the angel Gabriel, and the angel was talking about conceiving Jesus. Mary said, no, how is that possible? I'm a virgin. And he said, for with God nothing shall be impossible. In your life, nothing shall be impossible. When you have no job, the God of impossibility will create your job. When someone is sitting on your application and you don't know where to go, the God will do the miraculous. When men are sitting on your promotion and you wonder why people who are less competent are passing you by, God will do the impossible. God will elevate you in anything that in your life, anything people have said that it is impossible, God will upturn. And do you know why? Because his name is Jehovah Too Good. Jehovah Overdo. It will overdo so much that you will overtake the people that you think are ahead of you. Just trust in him. Number 9. I said, when you have your goals, leave room for God in your goals. Genesis 11, verses 5 to 8. That was the story of the people in Babylon. When they got together, it said, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. What this is saying is, if you think it's all by your power, it's all by your might, that you know everything, and that you will do it, the God, Jehovah, who is a jealous God, will destroy it. But when you walk with God, everything will be possible. But then you just see some people, you say, this guy is just blessed. Even if he sleeps in his house, favor, love comes to meet him. That is God. You don't know what that guy is doing. If that guy has been praying and working with God, it will be like somebody riding on the wings of an eagle. Everything will just be smooth, because God is with that plan. Because he is seeking God to glorify himself. And what we do is, when we think, oh, we are now successful, we are now powerful, we start to think it is about ourselves that we do it. And because Jehovah is a jealous God, he leaves you. And when he departs from you, that is what I was saying. If you leave room for God, even what seems like a mountain to men will be like a plain. What is the greatest obstacle to men will be nothing. You will walk through fire, as is written in Isaiah 43, and it will not scorch you. Because God wants to glorify himself in our lives. But when we think it is about us and we are the ones that know how to do it best, then God leaves us. And there is a nice quote there from a gentleman called Helives. Goals are good, but goals aren't good. So no matter how good you think your goals are, always seek the face of God first. Because if it is in conformity with God's plan for you, it will come to fruition. And God will not let us labor in vain. The last thing is, always ask God for what you need to accomplish your goal. We just said it. You can't do everything on your own. Even when the favor of God is strikingly obvious on you, it's because God is using people to help you. God is raising destiny helpers, dream makers, agents of recovery for you. Give him his praise and ask for the resources to accomplish your goals. In 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 3, it says, according as his divine power hath given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, through the knowledge of him that hath called us glory and virtue. That means God has given you all you need. You don't have to worry. Just go back to prayer, have faith in him, set your goals right, and he will give you the resources. It may be money, it may be job, it may be men. It will bring about everything that you need in your life to accomplish your goal. And I want to end by quoting the last verse, the last person there on the slide, which is Pastor Yonggi Cho, which we all know. He said, God doesn't answer vague prayer. If you, as a parent, your child comes and says, Daddy, make me happy, what will you say? What would you say? What do you want? So the same thing. God bless me. God bless me. We all have our prayer needs. So let's be specific. God, I want that job. And I believe you will get me that job. God, I want to bring 10 people to the church. But if you say, God, I want to be holy, I want to be this, I want to be that, they are too big. Just like you said, if a child comes and says, Daddy, I want to be happy, you say, what do you want? Do you want McDonald's? Do you want me to buy you a toy? Do you want me to take you somewhere? So, by the grace of God, I hope this has been very blessing, very useful. And I just want to recap those points again, which is, have faith in God, seek his direction, always leave room for him in what you do, ask him for the resources to accomplish your goals, ask him to bring people who are on your side, ask him for his help. And when you've got all that, be patient, anticipate, and never be weary, because he will do it. And always realize that God is not a God to keep you in your comfort zone. He will actually force you to reach out, because that is when his glory comes on you. When people think that everybody now says Obama has done very well for himself, he has done the impossible, but it is God. So God will know. When you sit in one place and you think I'm comfortable, that is my goal, then that is not God, because God will continue to move you. And it will move you from story to glory and from glory to glory in Jesus' name. Thank you.
It is of a great joy to know that you are being transformed by the Word of God that you have listened to. For inquiries, prayer support or counselling, call Greater Works Office on 01908 538 088 or email admin@helisbiblechurch.com or visit our website www.helisbiblechurch.com. The order of your life is glory.